look ahead to the weekend, have you kind of made any pitching plans?
We'll announce something this afternoon in terms of our starting pitcher against South Alabama. We've got several bullpens that are actually going on right now as we speak. We just want to see how the pens go today, see how everybody's feeling physically. After that, Gary and I will sit down this afternoon one final time and kind of come up with a final game plan in terms of this is who we're going to throw. And we'll be able to get something out this afternoon. But in terms of just who it's going to be, it's either going to be Connor Pilkington or Cole Gordon. It's going to be one of those two guys, and whoever it is, obviously we have a ton of confidence in both of those guys and excited to put both of them out on the mound this weekend at some point.
It's beyond your control, but have you looked at the weather as well? Because that could throw a lot of plans out of whack. I think you went through that at Baton Rouge last year too.
The weather always dominates this time of year, and so it's just something that you just plan accordingly to. There's nobody that can control it. Nobody knows what in the world is going to happen. So the best thing you could do is just prepare your team to play each and every day, and just make sure when they say play ball, your guys are ready to go. Is it going to rain this weekend? Probably. Does it rain most weekends this time of year? Absolutely. So you just, this is where we live. We live in the deep south. It rains every afternoon, probably around 4 o'clock in the summertime. You just get used to it and you just roll with the punches.
You've mentioned Gary Henderson a lot during the season. And what has been his role in these discussions with you, as far as what he brings to the table, as far as who's going to start, how are you going to navigate the 9 innings?
Yeah, sure. First and foremost, guys, I don't think we would be practicing today. I don't think we would be playing in a regional this weekend if Gary Henderson wasn't our pitching coach here. He has done such an incredible job balancing the innings, balancing the bullpens, just navigating this entire regular season and SEC tournament with the number of arms that we have available each and every day. And, he works relentlessly to, just make sure that, one, we have guys available to pitch on any given day. And secondly, that guys are continuing to get better and better each and every day, even when they're not throwing bullpens, because they have been throwing so much this season just with our lack of pitching depth. So Gary is a guy that's had 20-plus years of experience in the SEC, from his time as an assistant at Florida, time as an assistant at Kentucky, being the former head coach there. We're extremely, I know I'm extremely excited and jacked up that he's our pitching coach, and he has been such a tremendous asset for our program, and especially me this year here with my first year at Mississippi State.
During the season, you were very cognizant of Riley Self's workload.
Right.
What's your approach going into the NCAA tournament now with him?
I think first and foremost, your goal is to try to win every single game. And Riley has been very resilient in terms of being able to bounce back, in terms of, having to throw Friday, having to throw Saturday. In a perfect world, we would not have to use Riley 3 days in a row. I think with any young pitcher, I think their stuff starts to decline after a certain number of days pitching back to back to back. And he has been tremendous for us all year. Just his role in terms of whether it's an inning, whether it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, he has been incredible this year, and he is a major reason we're still playing this weekend.
How does his makeup compare to other freshmen that you've coached?
Well advanced. He is not scared at all, guys. He wants the ball. He wants the baseball in the biggest moments of the game. He wants to be on the mound when the game's on the line. And he is a strike thrower first and foremost. He is not scared to get out there in front of 10,000 people, compete, throw it over the plate, keep it down in the zone. And he gives us a chance to win each and every time he's on the mound.
I know Spencer struggled a little bit against Florida the other day and things. Is he still battling some after effects of that ankle injury?
Yeah, he has a really bad high ankle sprain. And if you pay attention to the NFL, those running backs sometimes miss 6-8 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Every time he runs out to the mound, he's got a dang near a cast halfway up his leg, trying to just gut through it and try to get through innings and trying to help our team win. Is he healthy right now? Not really. I don't think it's anything where he's going to hurt himself even more. But in terms of just being able to push off the rubber, push off the mound, being able to field his position, the effectiveness of his fastball and breaking ball that was there earlier in the year, it hasn't been there since he got hurt. And the injury is the reason why. He still can't jog. He's still in a walking boot from time to time. but he's such a competitor that he wants to do everything he can to help us win. And so in a perfect world, he's not going to have to close games this weekend, but maybe we can find some kind of role to get him out there to help us get some outs to navigate the weekend.
Andy, how excited and eager is for your team to get back out there and get back to playing, especially with regional starting this week after having a few good days of rest?
Yeah, we're really excited. I thought, we got done with the SEC tournament. I gave our players the entire weekend off. I felt like it was important for those guys to just get away from the game for a few days, recharge, sit on the couch, watch some Netflix, do whatever they want to do, just kind of get away from the game for a few days, try to get their legs back underneath them. We got back out on the practice field Monday morning before the selection show. We've had 2 outstanding days of practice this week. We're about to get practice cranked up right now. We're anticipating another really good day. I think our focus is really good right now. Our guys are excited to be competing in the regional. They're excited to be going to Southern Mississippi this weekend. Just with the destination being so close to Starkville, it's going to give our fans a chance to be at the ballpark, whether they get in the gates or not. It's going to allow them to be around the ballpark, be there, support our players. And, I made a comment the other day, we kind of want to turn Hattiesburg into Starkville South for the weekend. Just have as many fans as we can that can be there, wearing their maroons, shaking their cowbells, doing whatever they can to support our players and just make our guys feel extremely comfortable and just continue to give us that confidence that we're going to need to go out there and play well this weekend.
You talked about Gary's role.
Yep.
How much has it been kind of like a shell game in the sense that, with all the injuries, mix and match and change plans and
Right.
maybe change plans again and then, trying to develop a best plan going forward
Absolutely.
for individuals and a staff?
Every single day we have a plan. We have innings mapped out. We have, if the game goes according to plan in a perfect world, this is how we're going to do it. For example, hey, we get 6 out of Jacob Billingsley. We get Jolly in the 7th, Plumley in the 8th, Self in the 9th. Each and every game for us is mapped out like that. Does it go accordingly? Never. So it's kind of like, every fighter's got a plan till they get punched in the mouth, right? So, one of the best things that our entire staff has done this year is just make adjustments on the fly, and when you're dealing with such a short pitching staff that we have right now, you just try to prepare guys and put them in situations that they can have success in. Some guys it's a bigger role, some guys it's a smaller role. Whatever those guys can do to help us win, those guys have gotten opportunities to get out on the mound this year.
You've seen them 3 times in the regular season already, but what do you
Right.
expect out of Alabama this 4th time around, especially the way they finished the
Yeah,
season?
they're extremely well coached. They're playing really well right now. Their center fielder, Swaggerty, is an All-American type of player. He's a 5-tool guy. He can hit, run, throw, field. He's got power. He does everything you're looking for in a center fielder. He'll be a tremendous draft pick a year from now. He's kind of the catalyst of their team. He kind of makes them go. And I think so the biggest thing we need to try to do is do our best to keep the guys that hit above him off base. And if we can kind of limit his RBI chances and, if he can hit 5 times on Friday against us with nobody on base, then I think that's a really big victory for us. You don't necessarily stop those kind of guys. You just hope to limit their damage by getting the guys out who hit ahead of them.
I would assume that plan that you mentioned is done in pencil.
It's always done in pencil. It's done in pencil. There's erasers everywhere. It's just a guideline for how we can get through the game if it goes accordingly to plan. And so we've got guys that are competitive, that want the baseball. We've got guys that have pitched 4, 5, 6 innings on one day and then will come up to me the next day and just say, hey, Coach, if you need me, I can get a couple outs today. Never in a million years would I ever put those guys back out on the mound, but I think it says a lot for their competitiveness that they want the baseball, that they're team guys and want to do whatever they can to help us win.
After a full season in a big home field and playing at Hoover last week, how do you get some of your guys when they show up at Pete Taylor and see the fences from thinking, oh, I can reach that?
I think the biggest thing you try to do is you have a game plan each and every day for each individual guy to have success, and you try to never get away from that plan with each hitter. Do we have guys that are capable of hitting the ball out of the ballpark? Absolutely. For the most part, we're a line drive, gap-to-gap, singles kind of team. And then I think when you're talking about playing in a ballpark like Pete Taylor Park, where the gaps are short and the ball really jumps, I think you just try to convince your guys that if they put a good swing on a good pitch and try to backspin the ball into the gaps, let the playing conditions dictate where the ball is going to go. Don't try to do anything differently with your swing. Don't try to lift the baseball. We're not going to get into BP and try to hit the ball in the woods and hit it over the scoreboard. We're going to stick with our game plan each and every day. Each one of our guys has a blueprint for success in terms of being an offensive player. They're going to stay with that each and every day from today until the day they're done with this program. So it doesn't matter if it's Hoover, if it's Omaha, or if it's Pete Taylor where the ball flies. We want our guys staying with their game plans each and every day.
You have some family connections with Southern Miss. Did they also recruit you?
Yeah, absolutely. I took 2 official visits in high school. One was to Tulane University and the other was to Southern Miss. Southern Miss was a school that growing up, everybody in my family loved. My dad played baseball at Southern Mississippi from 1973 to 1976, and then 2 years ago was elected into the Southern Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame. That was an awesome weekend for him 2 years ago. It was really cool that myself and our whole family was able to be there to experience that with him. He has a lot of pride in Southern Miss, and you know, he's got hats and shirts and to the top and all those kind of things. And but I know this weekend he'll have his M over S hat on, his Mississippi State baseball shirt on, and he'll be shaking a cowbell screaming Hail State. So Southern Mississippi certainly runs deep in my family's blood. It's a terrific place. The atmosphere is great for college baseball. We're excited to get over there and looking forward to having a lot of success playing there.
You mentioned the weather. Of course, you had to deal with it last week. Didn't even get to play on Tuesday.
Yeah, sure.
Having that experience, kind of adjusting on the fly, does that help?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the biggest thing we talked about is just having your guys ready to play. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to start on time. Anytime you play tournament baseball, you know, the schedule may say one thing, but it never starts on time. So whether it's a half hour later or 4 or 5 hours later or it's the next day, we're going to do everything we can to get our guys ready to play when the umpires say play ball.